Hey guys, so today I'm going to be looking at more petty revenge stories. So yeah, let's just get right into the video. I live in a small cul-de-sac off a main road. Our neighbours to one side have been nothing but a thorn in our side since they adopted two medium large breed dogs that they just let roam all over the cul-de-sac. Mainly they let them shit on any and every front lawn and don't bother picking it up. It's been a thing where I've made a point not to let my own dog poop on the front lawn. So I know if I find a pile out there, it wasn't my dog. Doing some pruning in the front yard, I find two piles off to one side. I've been having some insomnia the last couple nights, so I know this is the perfect time to return the piles the dogs so generously left behind. At about 1 AM, I went outside with a baggie in hand, and instead of putting it in the garbage can like last time, I tossed those piles directly into the middle of the driveway. No bag, just poop. One kind of bounced and rolled under a car, but the other was a firm splat onto the pavement right next to the driver's side door of a different car. This morning over coffee, I heard a disgruntled hose splashing. While I'm sure this won't stop the poops from coming, I think I found my new favorite way to return the dog shit. Just throw it back at them. Yeah, perfect. This is a small business, maximum 10 people in the office at the same time. So when someone is stealing food from the fridge, people notice it fairly quickly. However, this was the owner's son. Now, the owner was known for nicking food, but would at least pay you back, sometimes. His son, about 20 at the time, did not, and was also a dick about it. Most of the people were getting fed up. So one day I brought colouring liquid from home, which my wife used to make the blue treats, cake, ice cream for our kids. He was always stealing my dairy products, and I thought the blue would make it less appealing. Almost forgot about it until a co-worker was fuming that someone had eaten almost all of her cottage cheese, and that she didn't have enough for herself. So I asked if she was willing to sacrifice what was left. Went to the culprit and said, "Dude, were you eating this? It's gone bad. You can't eat this. How did you not notice?" I could hardly finish my sentence as he threw up all over his desk and himself, violently. For all to see, the blue spots in the leftovers I showed him to look rather dramatic. Wow, it's always the people who have more money than other people taking other people's stuff. Seriously, why would he steal someone else's food when he could just buy his own? Like, what a freaking brat. And he's 20. Hello? Buy your own food. Like, what? He just thinks he can do anything because his dad owns the company or something? Oh my gosh. Today, I got on the 26th floor elevator and a man was having a speakerphone conversation on the elevator ride. I decided it was annoying, so I put on Walk by Pantera full blast. Him and I were the only people on the elevator ride. He asked me to put it down. I told him to shut off his speakerphone and put his phone to his ear if he wants me to shut off the music. I said my music is as annoying as your conversation. He called me an asshole. I smiled and said, "Cool man," and we went on our separate ways. I got a little joy from that encounter. Some people just think they can do whatever they like, but when someone's doing the same as them, they don't like it. Okay? Seriously. Okay? I see. Back when I was in my mid-20s, I bought my first place to live. Nothing great, it was just a trailer house, but it was mine. My neighbours were okay for the first few months. Then one day I was hearing banging on my walls. The kids on one side were using my outside board to constantly bounce tennis balls off. It drove me nuts. Talked to the neighbour. They said kids will be kids, and didn't put a stop to it. I decided it's time to do something after a few days and got a set of extremely loud air horns like they use on trains and semi-trucks. Put them under the skirting. The next time the kids started, I hooked up the air hose from my air compressor and opened the valve. The kids screamed and ran crying. I was crying from laughing so hard. The parents were pissed and came over making threats and yelling at me. The second petty revenge I got was one night I hid a wireless battery-powered doorbell under the stairs and I'd randomly push a button to ring it. Their dogs would go crazy barking and running around. I changed the batteries to that thing about a dozen times. I used it so much. Dude, that's genius. Wow, that is genius. Basically, just don't let them sleep. Kids will be kids. Well, there's a difference between a good kid and a bad kid, okay? And their kids are definitely gonna turn out to be spoiled little brats. I was an undiagnosed autistic growing up, but my parents didn't believe in mental health. This story takes place when I was 10. I moved all around the world growing up. When I was 8, my family moved to Japan and we stayed there for 4 years. Being undiagnosed meant that I was socially ostracized and bullied constantly for being a weirdo. I had an early childhood trauma and it made relating to my age group really difficult, so most of my friends were the adults in my life, librarians, admin, coaches, etc. There was a girl I lived by who was a year ahead of me in school and we would hang out sometimes because options were slim. One day we went out for a walk in this wooded area near my house. She lived in an apartment building, important context. She began to bully me, which had happened a few times before, but I genuinely couldn't tell. Always thought she was laughing with me, not at me. Anyways, that day she got really nasty and made me cry. I used to be very shy, quiet, much like a doormat. I didn't know how to stand up for myself. So rather than stick up for myself, I just walked away and went home. I was really angry and upset though and wanted to get her back. As I mentioned, she lived in an apartment building. It just so happens she parked a new bike in front of the building out in the open. There was a communal dumpster behind the building. You see where this is going. I spent an hour at home and then walked to her building, 5 minutes away at most. I was a tall, strong, athletic kid, so picking up a bike was not hard for me. I took her bike and buried it towards the bottom of the dumpster, then walked back home. A few hours later, her parents came by my house to talk to my parents. Turns out there were security cameras that caught me in the act that I didn't see. By that time though, trash had been picked up and her bike was gone. She never bullied me again and my parents still think it was hilarious to this day. I wasn't great with the words for defending myself, but man am I proud of my 10-year-old me's action. If I could go back in time, I would have done it again. If you're gonna bully someone, karma's gonna bite your ass. Like, why is she crying? Why are you crying? I mean, it didn't seem like she cared when he was crying, so why is she crying? Well, that's it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Tell me in the comments down below what your thoughts are. And as always, thanks for watching. Hope you guys liked it and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!